Beep, bop, boop. Those were the words that supposedly, allegedly destroyed the career of Gina Carano as she insulted, defamed, and damaged the psyches of so many Star Wars fans crying out in pain. Well, folks, what if we told you that those probably were not real? What if we told you that perhaps, just like the GoFundMe account, which seems to have been funded by Lucasfilm to defame Gina, what if we told you the mob was synthetic? And what if we told you they accidentally left the clue in plain sight? Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a joy as always to have you here with us. We love to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. Someone who has been doing an awesome job of keeping us all ahead of the culture curve and pulling back the veil behind those who would manipulate the truth dramatically is Master of the TDS. Sir, welcome back to the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I watched yesterday the latest video that you've done, which essentially uncovers the bot army that was brought in to take down Gina Carano back when all of the kerfuffle was going on with Star Wars and Lucasfilm, beep, bop, booped. But there's been something else that you have discovered, and I don't think anyone really knew. They might have presumed, but they didn't know for sure that there were bots attacking her. But one thing that seems to have come out, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this, is that those bots were reactivated once the lawsuit began. Is that correct?
Some of them, yes. Well, it does seem like it's an ongoing thing.
And that's because we found, or you found, similar phrasing from back when she was under fire, and now with the lawsuit, some of those same accounts came back online and started using the same phrasing, right?
Yeah. More recently, at least.
Yes. And so one of the things that I would say about this, folks, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty in just a moment. First of all, you've done a fantastic video that goes ahead and helps allay any fears that skeptics might have. You take a large amount of time to answer questions that folks might come up with. Yeah, sometimes the questions are ones that would come straight to mind. Sometimes it's questions that you've really thought hard about. Okay, where are the weaknesses in this argument? And so we've got the link to the video down in the video description below. I recommend that people go check that out. But the other thing I would say, Master of the TDS, is that if you are looking to destroy someone, or if you are looking to make sure that you are ideologically pure inside your studio, corporation, what have you, you've got some options on how to do that. One of the options is you could just tell the truth if the person's really doing something bad. But if that person's not doing something bad, then another option you have is to lie. And then if that's not sufficient to get rid of the person, another thing that you could do is you could amplify the lie. And that's what appears to have happened with these bots. And you're showing a lot of these on screen. I'm sure some of these are real people, but we believe the vast majority are bots. But to amplify the lie, one thing you can do is you can fake people. You can pretend there's a mob when no such mob exists. And then you can acquiesce to the fake mob that you created. And walk us through, Master of the TDS, exactly how you figured out that there was a huge bot campaign against Gina. And then, let's start here, because I think this is the most fascinating part. Tell us about the command prompt that seems to have been accidentally left visible to the public.
Okay, well, since I'm going to tell you about it, let me actually show it to you. As I said, there's 7 pages of this. So what I found was this. And so I knew that we all knew there was a quote unquote campaign against Gina. We all knew this. It wasn't a mysterious thing. The issue is we didn't really have evidence of it. We just had people responding to her, a couple things here and there, but we really didn't have anything like hard evidence that it was a huge campaign, nor that there were bots involved. But I decided to try and prove that there was a campaign, and through doing so, I stumbled on this tweet here. And this tweet is very strange. The account itself is very strange. If you go and you check this account, it hasn't been active since 2022. And it's a very strange account. It doesn't really, it looks human, kinda, but not really. But the important part here is if you'll look, this tweet says, Twitter user at Gina Carano should block me. Now, we have pages of tweets of people saying something similar, but why is this one important? Well, this one's important because nobody uses the phrase Twitter user. Why would you do that? Like, I don't use it. It's not a common phrase. Unless if you look at this differently and you think, well, this is a bot, then what it could be is some of the command prompt being left in because they're telling him, hey, target Twitter user Gina Carano. And instead of saying just at Gina Carano should block me, the command prompt got left in. So it says Twitter user at Gina Carano should block me because it's a really weird way of saying, referring to anybody on Twitter. I mean, this counts on Twitter. Of course, the person's a Twitter user. You know, there's no reason to have that in there unless if you look at it like the command prompt is being left in, then that would explain quite a lot and also indicate that if there's a bot here, there may be more.
Well, the other thing that speaks out to me here, Master of the TDS, is as someone who has done coding in the past, this looks very much like it is a third party to Twitter. In other words, this bot programming probably is used to access Instagram, Facebook, a wide variety of programs. Otherwise, you would not specify the program Twitter user, right? You would imagine that whatever this bot effort is can also be sent to Facebook user or to Instagram user or TikTok user, and they accidentally left this in the programming code into the actual message that it was supposed to display. That's what it looks like to me, and that's why I think this lends tremendous credibility. But beyond this, let's show the folks now, if you would please, all the huge numbers of individuals, synthetic or real, who were saying Gina Carano should block me en masse. And let's recall as well that the allegation has been that Lucasfilm had to acquiesce to the mob, right? Because so many people were so incensed, so hurt by what was going on. And by what Gina Carano had said. How dare she say beep, bop, boop? How dare she make calls for a better humanity? And as we look at these two, I want to remind folks that we already know from Gina Carano's lawsuit that Lucasfilm was engaged, knowingly or unknowingly, allegedly, in very manipulative behavior, such as trying to force Gina Carano to fund something that would apparently a GoFundMe campaign or some sort of campaign that Leslie Headland, the head of the Acolyte and the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, was engaged in, which was damaging to Gina. So in other words, they were telling her, if you want to remain on board at Star Wars, you have to pay money into this thing that is attacking you, and its sole purpose is to attack you. So I am not. Although I am shocked that you were so good at finding this, I am not shocked that someone would have went to the lengths of using a synthetic AI army to attack Gina using similar phrasing. Master of the TDS, is this normal? Have we seen this with any other Star Wars actors or actresses?
No, actually, which is what I talk about in the video. I wanted to make sure this was airtight before I went and put this out there, because you could look at this and go, okay, it looks significant, it looks strange, but how can we prove any of this? Well, I went through many steps to make sure that this was something that was not just happening, that was happening to Gina specifically and not with other people. And one of the actresses I actually compared her to was Rosario Dawson, who had some accusations of transphobia in the past. But I could find no tweets, none. Well, I found two, but not from the same time frame. But I could find no tweets at all from the time frame that this cancellation occurred, whether or not it actually stuck, that was anywhere near this amount.
Right. And so you're talking about maybe one or two tweets towards Rosario Dawson, and you're talking about 7 pages, hundreds of tweets that made it appear that there was this huge mob of angered and aggrieved individuals all speaking with one voice against Gina Carano. And what's terrifying about this is that this could be an utterly circular effort to destroy her, in which there was no mob. They knew there was no mob, but they needed a mob to fortify their position because they're so far outside of the mainstream, and Gina is so far into the sensible center that they had to invent wholesale the argument against her using completely made up accounts. Now, I don't know who did this, but somebody had to be well keyed into what was going on with the effort at Lucasfilm to get rid of her. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very strange thing, and I'll tell you this. I don't think I even mentioned this in the video. This is just 7 pages of where I stopped. There were more than this.
Right. So explain to the folks out there, because you have been doing tremendous work on uncovering a brand new bot effort out there that is intended to bypass Elon Musk's blue check system, and it's intended to manipulate the reviews and the perceptions of entertainment. It's meant to quiet those who would speak out against pieces of media they don't like. It's meant to bolster the idea that something is popular. It's even meant to apparently manipulate stock prices. And you've been uncovering that new system. This system that we're looking at here is years old, right? This came out at Gina before Elon owned Twitter. So this is not the same. This is not the same system, right?
It definitely isn't, because of course you can see none of them have the blue check mark, first off. And second off is that these are all from 2020. And again, these specific ones, I go over a couple more in the video, but these ones in particular are all from what before Gina was fired and the day of. So, and there were, as I said, there were more. I had to stop at a certain point. So there were even more potentially past this point. But these ones are definitely different because, again, it's also not one tweet with a bunch of people replying to it. If it was that simple, it would have probably been easier to find. But this is just a way different thing, because all of these people that you're looking at here are not replying to any posts at all. They are making their own posts. So each of these posts that you're looking at are someone going out into the void and adding Gina Carano and demanding that she block them around the time before and leading up to when she was fired.
Which appears very strongly to be a bot campaign, but a sophisticated one, right? Because it's not all the same. So there's got to be money behind this because it's sophisticated. It's not simple, as you say. And the effort apparently was to get Block Me Gina Carano trending on Twitter. It was to provide the cover that Lucasfilm needed to fire her by making it seem that there were hundreds and thousands of people who were offended when there was no such thing. And so this is how they can destroy you when they know that truth is not on their side. They invent the audience. They invent the congregation to surround them in their little worship of anti-truth. And what do we mean by anti-truth? Well, just like with Sweet Baby, where we see them, they know they're not telling the truth. We know they're not telling the truth. They don't care because they don't believe in the truth. Same thing with this Gina Carano situation, right? We know that Gina didn't do anything wrong. They know that Gina didn't do anything wrong. They don't care. They wanted her gone because it's a power play. And so that's how the game is played with these folks who are absolutely anti-truth. So they won't be mad that bots were involved. They'll be mad that we uncovered that bots were involved. And that's the way all of this works. But Master the TDS, so that people understand what's going on with the blue check mark system now, which is new, and you have been uncovering. And there have been some out there who've been dismissive and said, oh my gosh, we all know that bots are being used. Bots have been used, yada, yada, yada. What you've uncovered is a huge money-intensive effort to manipulate Twitter in new ways. Could you briefly explain to folks what that is before we wrap up our conversation today?
Sure. Basically, what I found is a bunch of accounts, and this is different because we all know there were bots, but this is different because what's happening here is that these are blue check mark accounts. Now, there are some accounts that you'll see in some of the stuff that I covered that either don't have blue checks or look like they may have had but don't have any more. Now, we have to remember that that it's very possible that some of these accounts had blue check marks and didn't anymore, or have hidden them as part of the features of the blue check mark. But these accounts are using the blue check mark system to boost posts. And I believe they're actually paying for Twitter Premium Plus, which gives you a reply boost. So there's a bunch of posts out there, people posting something, and a bunch of these blue check mark accounts will come out of the woodwork and respond to it. And because
we're
they're
talking
blue
about
check
big
mark,
money, right?
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of money here. Because again, even if we were going and saying, okay, let's say they're only paying for the $8, that's still a lot. But if I'm right, they're paying more than that, and
Right,
a bunch of these are there. Yeah.
And we're talking about hundreds and thousands of accounts, these bot accounts. And so if you're talking about $15 and you're talking about any given issue that a corporation wants to impact, we don't know which corporations are doing this, but there appears to be someone somewhere out there who is handling this when corporations need to switch the narrative. And Master TDS, I hope this is okay to ask. Have you been in contact with anybody from X about this issue? Has anybody reached out and said, "Oh my gosh, we've got to get this fixed"?
Yes, actually, I've had a couple former, I believe, again, I can't confirm this 100%, but I've had a couple former Twitter employees reach out to me and kind of say, yeah, you're on the right track here. And this has been a thing for a long, long, long time. And it's a huge problem that isn't fixed.
Well, I want to thank you because you have done a tremendous service for the community. Folks out there need to be following you. Your voice deserves to be heard because you are uncovering things that no one else is doing. You're bringing exclusives to the table, and you are uncovering the tactics of those who manipulate the perceptions of reality in their favor, right? They think that sacrificing the truth is just all right when it comes to magnifying their control, their narratives in whatever spaces they operate. Oh, sweet baby, Lucasfilm is right there with them. Master of the TDS, I want to thank you for being here today and for helping Gina. I hope that this video lands with the legal team that is helping her and assisting her. They can take it from here and look into what this was, and especially and specifically whether or not Lucasfilm or any of its employees were involved in generating the bots, which we cannot know, and we do not know, and we don't allege to know. Master TDS, tell folks out there where they can find you on this great, big, beautiful web.
You can find me on Twitter at Master of TDS. I'm fairly active on there, but if you want to find more coverage of bots and things like that, you can follow me on a channel I run with my wife, Writing Raven, which is called Gothic Therapy. I've been uploading videos there. I think I have about 5 or so of them now. 4 Disney, 1 Warner Brothers about the bots, and those are the best places that you can find me. There's a lot more coming. I still have plenty more videos in the pipeline, and as I do more research, I continue to find a bunch of more accounts doing this kind of stuff. So who knows how many more might be added on in the future.
There you go, folks. Make sure you check out Master of the TDS. And I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We simply cannot keep up with all of the entertainment news that is breaking over the past week. Gamergate 2.0 and the head of X-Men apparently being very illicit on his OnlyFans. We just can't keep up. We're trying our best. There's only so many videos we can put out a day. So we say thank you to those who are out there covering all of this stuff as we continue to trudge forward, trying to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve as best we can in a week where it has been an absolute torrent, an absolute deluge of information. All right, folks, it is now your turn to weigh in. If you enjoyed this video, if you like finding this out for the very first time along with us, well, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts. If you're not yet subscribed to Master of the TDS, what are you waiting for? Seriously, get over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Clickbait, fraud, drama queen. Ugh, I wish there was a channel that was 5 to 6 minute news reads without the drama, frauds, and clickbait that could accurately let me know the current news, providing my crucial context utilizing all the different That Park Place contributors and creators.
Well, stupid. There is. It's the That Park Place YouTube channel, which will be going live real soon, so make sure you're subscribed, so you can really stick it to the algorithms.
You're joking.
Nope.